Amen. Exodus 17 chapter, let's begin at the first verse. It says, Then all the congregation of the children of Israel set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin, according to the commandment of the Lord, and camped in Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Therefore the people contended or fought with Moses. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel, so he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because the contention of the children of Israel, because they tempted the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? For he said, Because the Lord has sworn, the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, say, change the game. Now look at somebody else and tell them, I fight better with my hands up. To be under submission means to give up your will and influence to somebody else. It is not an easy task, because so many times you've been, especially if you've been living your life fighting. Amen. The color purple, Celia said, all my life I had to fight. Some of you may feel the same way. All my life I had to fight. And so you had to provide for yourself. You had to struggle. You lived in survival mode. It's hard to think about living in prosperous mode when you live so much in survival mode, because you had to learn to make things by yourself. Amen. You live in survival mode. Even sometimes after you get married, it's hard for you to submit even the person you're with, because you're used to providing for yourself. You're used to making your own decisions, and if anything was going to get done, you had to do it. You seen your mama struggle with somebody that didn't have themselves together, and so you adopt that same mindset. You child, you can't trust no man. I'm preaching already. Amen. So it's hard for you to come up under submission under anything, because you haven't seen what that looked like. And when you haven't seen submission in a home, watch this, it's hard for you to submit in a church. I know I lost half the congregation right there. Because submission is a learned thing. It is not you're born with it, because the flesh war against the spirit. So you cannot submit willingly. You have to do it sometimes against your will. So Israel came to the place that they were so used to being under bondage that bondage was still in them. You can be out of something but yet still be in it. So God began to speak to Moses, and he began to tell Moses, he said, now Amalek had came and fought with Israel at Rephidim. Israel, amen, was minding their own business, but Amalek decided, because he heard about their reputation. Sometimes you got to understand that your battle is not because you're all cute. Your battles ain't because of what you're driving. Your battle is not even based upon your title. Satan looks at you and he realizes if you are making an impact where you are now, then if you keep on going, what in the world you gonna do? You got to understand the enemy has seen your prospect. He's seen what you're capable of doing. He's seen that you're about to do something big. So the enemy is not fighting against my now. He's fighting against my later. That's why some of you are getting confused right now, because if God is going to bless you, then why do I have enemies popping up? Why is things popping up in my life? You got to understand, it's not about you. The enemy has seen that you have joined God into something. Look at somebody that says you have joined God, and therefore the enemy realizes that you're the type of person that you say, God, whatever you want to do. I cannot create God's will. I can only to submit to what he's doing. And if I join God in what he's doing, he's going to bless me in the process. Some of us got it all wrong. We come up with our own thinking, our own mind, our own rationale, and we begin to mess up because our spirit hadn't been clean. I don't care how anointed you think you are, what title you carry, we are nothing without God. You join God in what God is doing, and that's when God bless you. He can only bless what he authors. God is the author and the finisher. He don't finish nothing that he ain't authored. Sometimes in your life, you need to find you an Aaron and a Hur. You need to find somebody that when you are tired in your life, that you can't go another further. You need somebody to keep your hands up. Who am I preaching to? Find somebody right now and say, no matter what I'm fighting, even when I feel like giving up, help me keep my hands up. Help me to keep my praise. Help me to keep reading my Bible. When I want to tap out, help me to keep my praise. Help me to keep the winning. Hey, say yeah. Tell somebody, say, I fight better with my hands up. Say yeah. I feel like preaching now. You got to understand, everything you've been going through has been teaching you how to keep your hands up. Everything you've been fighting been teaching you how to keep your praise. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. I don't care what you're going through. You got to tell the enemy, I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praise shall continually be in my mouth. Even with a broke ankle, keep your hands up. Even with no support, keep your hands up. You may want to cry. You may want to break down and die, but keep your hands up. I fight better. Who am I preaching to? You got to understand, this year I learned that whatever state I am, to be content. My feelings may be hurt. I may feel down and depressed, but I fight better. I don't care what it do. Don't let them take your praise. I don't care what it do. Don't let them snatch your vision.